If we crash again, I'm gonna lose my mind. I might actually lose my mind. I just want to play some Minecraft and stream and record all at the same time. Can I just, is that like not okay to do? I don't know why my game keeps crashing. I don't know why my PC just crashed. I don't understand what's going on. Maybe streaming just isn't meant to be today. I literally no clue what's going on here. Jeez, man. Okay. Maybe I won't just lose my mind this time. Let's try this for the 4th time, 5th time. I don't know what time it is today. I had issues when I started the stream. I'm having issues now. It's such a pain in the butt. I'm wondering if I need to update to Windows 11. Maybe that's what it is. I thought I recently upgraded my graphics card. Maybe it's that? I don't know. Ba-da-dum-dum-dum. On my neck. Ah. Do 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 do. Do-do-do-do. Bum bum bum. Ba-dum bum. Bum bum. Ba-dum ba-da-da-dun-dun. Oh, this is a banger. Yeah. Bum bum ba-da-ba-dum bum bum bum. Yeah. Bum 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 bum. Do 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 do. Yeah. Absolute banger right now. Do 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 do. Um. Oh, my eye itches. Really? Bum 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 bum. Do 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 do. Dun 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 dun. Alright. Psycho Fish, what's going on? How are you? Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Hope all is well in your world. You're saying good morning, did you just wake up? That's crazy that it's morning for you. It is currently 2 in the afternoon for me. Wow, wow. I'm glad to hear that you're doing well. Glad to hear that you're doing well. Wow, now. As you can tell, we're placing slime. Like normal. Except I'm like 99% sure I don't have enough slime, which doesn't make any sense to me because I multiplied the dimensions. I don't understand why I don't have enough, but I don't think I have enough slime. Maybe I do? I don't know, we'll see. I still have like 200 and, I don't know, 50... No. Yeah. No, maybe I think I still have like 300 stacks of slime to go through, but I'm getting real nervous that I don't have enough, which is going to make me real sad. I still don't know what I did wrong with the math, but whatever. We'll just have to cross that bridge when I get there, I suppose. Boom, boom. Carson, why don't you just use Elytra when you fall? I do. This is, I mean, I'm not placing blocks just to catch me. This is here because I think it's cool, but I'm putting a design on top. Xavian, how are you? Skip, how are you? What does the Enderman farm do? Do you just kill all of them? Yeah, when it's working. So when the Enderman farm is working, it drops them a certain amount of height to where they're one shot, and then I I can punch them, but I use a sword with sweeping edge. Yeah. So Carson, this was yeah, obviously it's there to catch me if I fall, but there's sometimes where like my computer will freeze. I've had moments where I've fallen and my computer's frozen. Skip, thank you for the follow. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good for XP and pearls. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, no, I mean, obviously I can use Elytra, but I thought it would be cool to have a design down here because of the build that I'm, like, basically I'm getting rid of this whole island, and then I'm going to build a mega base, sort of, above it, so, yeah, this has to go. Or, so, I mean, I guess this has to go, but I wanted this in place just in case. And then I thought of putting a design on top using carpet, that Endermen don't spawn out here, and it will allow me to use my Enderman farm again. Which I will be moving to the center of this build. Do I have creative? What do you mean? Like, do I have a creative world? Yes, but I don't really use it. Like, ever. I haven't used creative at all for any of the builds that I have in my world. So, they've all been in my head, and then I just kind of wing it. Mainly because I don't really understand how to use Axiom or World Edit. Those are really confusing to me. And rather than taking the time to learn how to use them, I just don't. So, probably not the best way of going about doing this, but, you know, I don't know, my world, the way, I'm going to play it the way I want to, I suppose. Maybe one day in the future I will, but I don't want to, like, learn World Edit and Axiom just so I can pump out videos. I want to, if I learn them, it's because I genuinely have a need for them. I want to enjoy playing Minecraft, and as it currently stands, I enjoy it more when I just kind of have an idea pop up in my head and I try to build it that way. Does that make sense? For some tips to get in cities, get to in cities, especially ones consisting of ships. Me and my friend tried a couple of hours and couldn't find a ship. I don't have any tips. It's just luck of the draw. I'm sure there's some kind of like mathematical thing you can do. Like if you stay on the y-axis or the x-axis or something and you follow that, you'll eventually run into one because they spawn closer to those or something like that, but I don't know what those are. I basically just walked around the end until I found a ship, got the Elytra, and then flew around until I found other ships that had Elytra and collected as many as I could until I got bored. I was probably in the end 7 or 8 hours doing that. No, that's a lie. Probably took me 2 hours. It probably took me, I think it took me an hour to an hour and a half to find the first ship, and then after that, it took me like another 30, 45 minutes or something like that, an hour or two, to find like 10 more ships. Did I actually kill my, break my, yes, I actually kicked through the wall. That was not made up. That was real. You gotta understand, that roach was huge. Alright? In my little mind at the time, the roach was like the biggest roach I'd ever seen. Okay? And it was like a Godzilla roach. And so yes, I 100% finished taking a dump and then kicked a hole into the wall trying to kill the roach. I highly recommend not doing that. My mom was not happy with me. Ah, bro, yeah. Flying roaches, I've seen a few of those. And, I can't... Oh, gross. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Roaches are bad enough as it is. You add the flying aspect to it, and I want to lose my mind. Ow. Oh, we're close. We're getting close enough to be able to just jump off the end island. That's so sick. Bum 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 ba na na na. Dum dum dum. I'm trying to think, do I hate roaches more than I hate spiders? Maybe? Only because I know that spiders are good for the environment. They kill like bugs that are pests. So in that regard, I can at least feel like, okay, this spider's useful. I don't know what roaches are useful for. I'm sure there's some kind of animals out there that eat roaches or something, and so there's some kind of like, you know, ecosystem that like needs them, but I hate them. What are the highest amount of enchants you can get from an enchanting table? Like the max I got was protection 4. Yeah, protection 4 is the best. Or 4 is the top that you can get from an enchantment table for protection. Any of the protections, I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to think if you can get. I don't think you can get efficiency 5 from enchantment table. I think efficiency 4 is the top that you can get. Spiders are also pests. True. But they catch like bugs that are more pesky, like mosquitoes and gnats and stuff like that. Flies. You kind of gotta, you know, pick your poison, I suppose. What do you want to deal with? Would I rather deal with flies or a spider? I think I'd rather deal with the spider. Now, that being said, there's a spider inside anywhere near me. It's not making it outside, probably. It's probably going to die. I'm not going to lie to you. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. In the area I live in, we have like black widows and brown recluses, so I gotta kind of... Some of those spiders just aren't allowed to... They're not allowed to live inside my house. Mainly because I have kids. And Australia might be an active war zone considering all the insects and the size they come in. Yeah, nah. I would love to visit Australia, but I also don't want to because I'm not dealing with the size of bugs that they got there is crazy. Ain't doing it. I'm not built like that, you know what I mean? Not my cup of tea. But I think there's also really, really cool animals in Australia, like koalas and kangaroos. Like, that would be cool to see. Why did I decide to do survival instead of hardcore? This world started off as a hardcore world, and then I died. And so I had built some really cool stuff in this world. And so my most recent video, I wanted to finish that project, or at least what the ideas that I had for that video. I wanted to complete that aspect of it before I started a new hardcore world. And I basically, in that video, said, if you guys want me to continue this world, I can, or I can start a new hardcore world. And most people just wanted me to continue building in this world, so that's what I decided to do. So that's why I switched it to survival. But it's also cool not having to worry about dying. I've died a number of times since then, because I just haven't been... Ever since I switched it to survival world, there was no real reason to care about death at that point. I've died in the end since getting all the slime blocks once. But fighting all the dragons, I think I died like 4 or 5 times, just kind of not really paying attention. So there's that. I don't know. I've died like 6 or 7 times. I was like 6 or 7. I let a spider bite me. It was in Australia, and I thought I would have Spider-Man power, but little did I know I almost died. Yeah, that'll do that. I used to think about that all the time as a kid. It's like, oh man, what if a spider bit me? And then I got Spider-Man powers. That'd be sick. The fact that you went through with it is insane, but you were 6 or 7, so I can also see that, but yeah, it'd be crazy if that's how it worked. Keep misclicking. Dum. I guess I could go get a totem and then not have to worry about dying, but like, I don't know, it takes away the fun, I guess. Like, if I ever start a new hardcore world, I probably won't go searching, like, if I get a totem, it will be because I either completed a raid, which I haven't done in this world, or because I come across a woodland mansion, you know, on accident. I'd rather upload what I enjoy. But I mean, yeah, I could upload more often, but I do such large projects. Like, what am I going to show you guys? You're gonna watch another video where all I do is make a bunch of farms? That doesn't seem that exciting. I could technically do that and probably get some decent views, but I'd rather have something substantial. Like, I need a beginning, middle, and end, right? So like the beginning was the idea for the end. The middle was me collecting all the slime and building all the like 10 farms that I had to build while I was waiting for all the slime to be collected. And then the end, obviously, is me putting all the slime in place and then getting rid of the end island. So like, I don't want to just make a video simply because I can, and simply, like, I don't want to make a video just to get views. I want my video to have some kind of meaning. I want it to be meaningful to me. And I think part of it is like, I want to tell a story. And so the whole premise behind the next video is going to be my journey of going from no slime blocks to going and collecting over 263,000 slime blocks and then placing all those slime blocks and then getting the end prepared for the mega build that I'm going to be building here, right? So I think that's part of it. And in the past, I would do that. I would just be like, I'd make like 3 farms, or I'd make like an iron farm, and that would be the video. But I don't know. That seems kind of lame and boring. I don't know. Maybe this is lame and boring. I have no idea. But I think for me, it's trying to become better at storytelling, and I feel an aspect of that is putting a lot of thought into what you're doing while you're playing, and then executing on that thought or that idea. And then showcasing that and sharing that with one second. So I think that's kind of like where my brain goes. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with pumping out more videos more often, but the videos in terms of Minecraft that I enjoy watching are the ones that are like completely thought out. You know, they're longer videos, and what the people make or what the YouTuber makes or builds throughout that video, I think, is more important than necessarily just pumping out videos. But that's kind of how I think about it. How much percentage are you done completing the slime trampoline? That's a great question. So I did the math, and it's supposed to be 263,000 slime blocks, but like I've placed so far, let's look here. I've placed 218,000 slime blocks, and I don't feel like I'm anywhere near being close to, I don't think another 50,000 slime blocks is going to finish this square. So I don't know where I went wrong with my math. It should be 513 blocks by 513 blocks. I'm not mistaken. Because that's 513. And that's 513 all the way across. I don't know. So, but we're like 3/4 of the way done with the slime block part of the trampoline. And after I do that, we'll be mining out this by hand because I want to. I don't know if they'll ever do it, but if Mojang and Microsoft ever decide to do something with Endstone other than just this disgusting looking block, which I really hope they do, I would like to have it available. And I don't want to have to fly from one island to another collecting it. I'd rather just collect all this because there's something like 1.5 million pieces of blocks here. And yeah, I don't know. I want to be able to use it. I think it'd be cool if it, like, if I made a moon or something out of it. Thoughts on watching YouTube while eating? I don't know if I have a thought on that. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, I guess. Unless there are people around you and you're supposed to be, like, present with them. But even then, like, I'll sometimes hop on YouTube even if I'm at the dinner table with my family. Which is not something I recommend. It's not good. Definitely be present with your family. But I don't see the harm in eating and watching YouTube. I mean, it's no different than eating and watching, like, sports on TV or watching a TV show. You know? But I guess it's personal preference, right? If you want to watch YouTube while you're eating, then do it. What are your thoughts on watching YouTube while eating? What a funny question. But I like it. Like, are you not allowed to watch YouTube while you eat? Is that something that's... Is that why you came up with the question or asked the question? Oh, no, no, no. I gotta stop misclicking. I generally thought watching YouTube while eating might be a bad habit that I picked up. Didn't know it was this common. I mean, I don't know if it's a good habit, but... Yeah, I mean... Sure, you're not the only one that does it. Clearly, you're not the only one that does it, because I do it. Go back, when I was in preschool, I didn't know why, but I stabbed a pencil in my hand. Then I went to the nurse and I said, it was just a paper cut. Why'd you do that? I was running around as a kid, and my brother was running around with a pencil in his hand. Or no, I had a pencil in my hand. And my brother was chasing me. We were in my mom's is a teacher, and we were in her classroom. And I don't know, I think I tripped. I ended up stabbing myself in the chest. And the lead broke off, and for the longest time, I don't think you can see it now. But, and I've grown quite a bit taller since then, so it's not in the same spot. But, yeah, I had a piece of graphite stuck in my chest, and for the longest time, I thought I was going to die because of lead poisoning. Granted, there is no lead in pencils nowadays, at least in the US. I don't know about other countries. I imagine it's not in pencils in other countries. But, yeah, I thought I was going to get lead poisoning and die. I was very scared. I don't remember how old I was. I was somewhere around, like, 12. Somewhere around that age. Fun times, man. Fun times. also had a bike that had pegs on the front, and I had never had pegs on a bike, and so I thought it would be a cool idea, or maybe it was my brother's bike. It was my brother's bike, and it was a Mongoose, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be so cool. I'm going to take my hands off the handlebars, and I'm gonna put my feet on the pegs, and I'm gonna stand up on the pegs and ride the bike. Not thinking about the fact that like the pegs also turn with the handlebars, and so when I took my hands off the handlebars, the pegs turned and the handlebars turned, and I stood up, and the handlebars, I flipped over the bike, or didn't flip over the bike. The bike kind of flipped up and threw me forward, and the handlebar hit me right in my belly button, knocked the air out of me, which was like one of the first times I remember having the air knocked out of me. And it also cut a circle around my belly button. I just laid in the middle of the street for like 3 minutes. Not able to cry, just like feeling I was gonna die, because I couldn't get in the air. And then obviously your body eventually is like, oh crud, this kid isn't breathing. We need to make sure that they're getting air, and so it forces you to breathe. But yeah, talk about a scary moment. You hit him in the space between his nose. Ooh, I mean, makes sense. But it makes sense if someone threw a cricket bat at you. I've never thrown a cricket bat at anyone, mainly because I've never played cricket. I've never even seen a cricket bat in person. My cousin hit me in the back of the head with a snowball once, and he's 6 years younger than I am. Okay, what is that? Why is that happening? There we go. That was weird. He's 6 years younger than me, and so I was 18 at the time. Yeah. And I got a slushy snowball and threw it maybe from like 2 or 3 feet away straight into his nose. My uncle was not happy with me, but that was the last time my cousin messed with me, so there's that. Oh, that's horrible. It requires a lot of patience to watch. He got stabbed in the eye. That is a horrible... Ugh. I feel for him. Hope his eye's okay. That's crazy. I imagine cricket needs as much patience as like baseball. Because I get bored watching baseball. It's one of those sports where like, you know it's going to be 3, 4, 5 hours long, and so if you go to an actual game, you're there to hang out with whoever you go with to, you know, drink a couple beers, have a hot dog, some corn dogs, some cheese fries or something, nachos. Like, you're there to, it's like the experience of the whole day. You know what I mean? Leading up to the game, you're probably having food, having some drinks, hanging out. During the game, you're doing the same thing. After the game, you're kind of doing the same thing. You know what I mean? At least that's what I think. I don't know. I've been to like a few baseball games. I played baseball when I was younger, but playing is a little different than watching, of course. But I've never been to like a Major League Baseball game. Maybe one day. I don't know. Bum 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 bum. I have to use the restroom. Maybe after you use this inventory. Yeah. Playing in snow. Okay. What is playing in snow like? Is it fun? Sort of. Like, it's so cold, and so like it's really hard to like say it's fun to play in, because after like 10 minutes you're freezing, and like that's not fun. And then when it melts, everything is just like muddy, and it's cold and it's muddy, which is not a fun combination. Where I live, we don't get a ton of snow, so I can't speak on like what it's like to have feet of snow. I know there's some places up north that get a level of snow I've never even like heard of, and so I definitely have never seen. I don't know. I also didn't grow up like with a bunch of like kids my age on my like in my neighborhood or anything like that, so it wasn't like I was going outside and having snowball fights with a ton of my friends or making like snow forts or anything like that. It was just going outside, making a snowball or two, trying to make a snowman if I could, but that was super rare. So yeah, I don't know. Snow's kind of meh for me. I don't think it's bad by any means, but it's not like the end all or be all, in my opinion. It's just kind of whatever, you know? It's cool to see from time to time. I'll put it like that. That's how I feel about snow. Is it true that the U.S. has free education care? What do you mean by free education care? Like you get to go to school for free? Is that what you mean? If that's what you mean, sort of. So kindergarten through 12th grade is, like, public school is quote-unquote free, but you end up paying for it with tax money as an adult. So like where I live, part of our taxes every year go towards one of the school districts. So I guess technically yes, it's free for kids, but like I mean it's being paid for with tax money. So yes and no. I guess the answer is no technically, but everybody gets to go to school from kindergarten to 12th, and then once you get to university or college, you got to pay money to go there, unless you get scholarships or grants or something like that. And that's where it gets really expensive, like insanely expensive. Is the U.S. tax percentage a lot? Yes. There are, so each state has their own tax, like you get taxed for certain things in each state. So like if I lived in Michigan, the way that I'm taxed for certain things would be different than if I lived in California or if I lived in Georgia. It just kind of depends on where you live. But there are overall tax brackets depending on like your annual income. And so if you make a certain amount of money, you'll get like, I think the bare minimum is like 17% or something like that. I mean, I really have no idea what the brackets are. I know the upper end is like 30 or 35%. So yeah, we get taxed quite a bit. You get taxed when you buy groceries. You get taxed on, you have like property taxes that you have to pay. That's after you have your income tax. So you get a paycheck, depending on if you're a W-2 worker, meaning that you don't work for yourself, you work for someone else. They will automatically take out tax from your paycheck that you never see, and it goes straight to the IRS. We get taxed for dang near everything. Yeah. Well, I know in other countries they do it. I don't know what other like how many other countries do it or how many countries don't do it. But like in the US, rather than just putting the taxes into like what you're buying, so instead of it, like if you look at the price tag of like a banana and it says, I don't know, 50 cents for that banana, when you go to check out, they're going to add tax to that. So instead of paying 50 cents, you pay like 78 cents, versus what I think would be a whole lot easier and nicer for them to do, and just easier on most people's paychecks and being able to like kind of budget, is if it said out of the gate, oh, it's going to be 78 cents with the tax already included. That seems like, in my mind, a whole lot easier, but yeah, no, you get taxed for everything. You get taxed for, I guess you don't get taxed. I don't know if you get how you get taxed for it, but you got to pay bills for like the water, for the trash. Yeah, like basically everything. We get taxed so much, it's crazy, which is funny considering that we started an entire war with, it depends on what state you're in. So the state that I live in is $7.25. Other states is $15. It just depends on where you live. So the national minimum wage is $7.25. Bow, 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 bow. Oh, my ear is itching. Woo! Dude, how do I keep misclicking? Stop. Oh, do, do, do. All that to be said, I don't really understand our tax system all that much. It's very confusing. Like, I think the tax code is something like 10,000 pages long. It's something ridiculous. Because they add stuff, they take stuff away, and then they have to add that to the tax code and take it away from the tax code, and it's just a big giant mess. And then like at the end of the year, they could tell, basically the IRS could tell you what you owe them, but instead you got to go pay to have your taxes done unless you do it yourself. And if you pay to have it done, it costs like $200 to $500 depending on who's doing it. And they'll get it done, they'll send everything to the IRS, and then the IRS may or may not send you a tax, like income, or tax, what is it called? Your income tax, basically, is they'll pay you back for the tax money that they took that was too much. And that's really annoying because it's not like you gain interest on it. So like if I were to go to the bank and take out a loan, I would have to pay interest on it because they're giving me their money to use for whatever. The IRS doesn't pay us that. So basically we're just giving them free money and they can do with it whatever they want. And it's kind of annoying because it's like I could have used that money throughout the year for groceries or just everyday living expenses. But no, you guys have it and you took it and you're like, oh, sorry, we took too much money. Here's your money back that you already earned with nothing extra on top. That's kind of annoying. But if you do your own taxes and you mess up, then they can, like, basically the IRS is one of the most powerful, I don't even know what they're called. I don't want to say business, but I guess they kind of are a business. They're one of the most powerful entities in the US and on the planet, probably, because they can basically, like, if you don't pay your taxes, they can withhold your paychecks basically and just take it out of your paycheck. So like rather than the paycheck going to you, the IRS can step in without you knowing and just take your money from you. It's really crazy. I see people from the US or Europe usually going to countries like Japan or countries like inside Asia, considering they don't have to pay much. But and nobody talks about how much it's hurting the people living in the country. I think it's called tax refund. There we go, tax refund. Thank you. I knew it was tax something. Yeah, the tax refund, they just give you the money that you already earned and there's no interest or anything. It's just the money that they took from you that they shouldn't have taken to begin with. It's really obnoxious. Yeah, I know a lot of people move to other countries because it's for cheaper living and whatnot. And yeah, it hurts the people in the country, but also, you know, it's expensive to live in the US. So I can also understand why people move. I'll be right back. I gotta use the restroom. So, here, I'm just gonna put up intermission while I go use the restroom. I'll be right back. I don't know why it doesn't show the chat whenever you type, but it's supposed to show the chat here and it doesn't. Anyways, whatever. Enjoy the music. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Why doesn't that work as well? I don't understand why that doesn't work as well, but whatever. Okay. I just knocked the screen off of my mic is going through it right now. Okay. I feel much better now. Do I use a dual monitor setup? Yes, I do. But I have like an L-shaped desk, and one of my monitors is like completely to my right. Like, what is it? 90 degrees to my right. And so I literally have to turn my head all the way to the right to like read chat. So that's kind of annoying, but my where I would like my monitor to be, my PC sits. So I mean, I guess technically if I moved everything, I could move the monitor I play on to where the monitor, like the spot where chat is, and then move my chat monitor to the left and set it on my desk. But there's just not enough room because I'm so big, and like my arms are pretty long. So like I'm 6'4" and my wingspan is 6'9.5", and so it just makes it really uncomfortable to play in like a smaller area, if that makes sense. So the L shape, the long side of my desk is on my right side because I'm right-handed, so that's where my mouse is, and I lay my arm on that desk. So I don't know, maybe I can figure out a way to do it, but there's not a whole lot of room, you know what I mean? Oh, my wife is calling. Yes. What's up? That's hilarious. I've done that a long time ago. I didn't, but it was when he was in a Duna. I didn't click it in properly, and we went over to Timmons. I realized when I got there, I pulled it out and I didn't press the button to get him out, and I was like, oh my. It happens. I'm glad you guys are safe though. Oh. Sure. Yeah, that's fine. It'll be perfect for them. Yeah. I think the fruit is better than me. Just stick with that. But if you want to grab butter while you're there, unless you already put that order in, just grab it from there. We aren't out of butter. We're on the last block of it. It'd be better to just grab some. Okay. I mean, maybe just get bulk. I just don't want it to go. Then I know apples, do some oranges. Probably look at getting some more yogurt if you want. Oh yeah. I really like how much they don't stream. I said it was rough initially when we started running out, but it's kind of nice not having them flip out over it. I mean, yellow dogs are always good. Probably get some berries. Okay. Party? Oh, yeah. Five. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good to me. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, I saw. Cool. Okay, cool. Good. Okay. Okay, cool. Sweet. Perfect. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah. Me too. Alright. Sorry about that. Let's see. 6'4" is crazy high. Max I've seen is 6'3" though. Could have been 6'5". Yeah, 6'4". Yeah, I'm pretty tall. You know, hot take, but I don't think cyberbullying doesn't exist in terms of being like you're gaming and you're getting called rude stuff. Why don't you just quit the game or change the game? Yeah, I've never understood. So I mean, I grew up during a time period where like I watched the internet become mainstream like it is today, and I also dealt with bullying in person. And so it's always been weird to me when someone's like they're bullying me online, and it's like, well, get offline. It's really that simple. I'm not saying it's okay, but like if you don't like the way someone's talking to you online, then log off. It's really that easy. And block them if you feel like you need to block them, then block them. But I feel like I don't know. Maybe because I grew up in a different time period, sort of, and so I don't know. I do think that we have, as a society, and I can't speak for other countries. I can only speak for the U.S. But as a whole, all of us are interconnected. I don't think it's like I think the internet it can be incredible, but humans, we were not meant to have this much information at our fingertips at all times. You know what I mean? We shouldn't have access to everybody whenever we want. And too many people care way too much about what someone says to them online when they know they will never meet them. It doesn't, like, you could come in here, prime example, David, you could call me a fat slob. And it's like, okay, like I've never met you in person. The chances of us actually meeting in person are slim to none, right? And so it's like, and on top of that, don't get me wrong, like it's words. At the end of the freaking day, it's words. Does it hurt your feelings? Yes, I'm sure it does. And maybe in some cases there are some levels of truth there when someone calls you something, right? Maybe like deep down inside you're like, oh man, even though they've never met me, they're kind of right. But ultimately at the end of the day, who the heck cares? It's just never made sense to me. I don't know. Even when I was bullied in school, I would look at people that would say certain things to me and I would just stare at them and they wouldn't get the response that they were looking for. Like I wouldn't get mad or anything. I wouldn't flip out. Very rare. I had to deal with bullies a handful of times where I actually had to like stand up for myself. But for the most part, it was like, oh, this guy's not giving me the response that I want, so I'm going to go mess with somebody else. Which in my mind was always more fun because I was like, I don't know, I made it a little game in my head where I was like, you're not going to win. You're not going to get a response out of me and get to go home and be like, oh yeah, I got under his skin. That's not happening. I'm too competitive for that. And I'd like, it's just not, that's not going to happen. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. And to think that like, by telling someone not to be a bully, you're going to stop bullying is insane to me. It falls in line with like any other negative thing that you see in the world. Like, yes, most people aren't bad people. But there are bad people out there. There are just humans that are, for whatever reason, maybe they had a horrible upbringing. I don't know, but they're gonna be jerks. And like, there's nothing you can do to stop it. Maybe you can help in, like, to some degree. There are people that do end up changing and things like that, but by and large, if someone wants to be a jerk, they're going to be. And it doesn't matter what you say or do. And so wasting my energy to try and tell someone not to say something about me is just not going to happen. I also do think that a little bit of trash talk is important. Like, it does build character, it does thicken up your skin. And also, in a gaming sense, it adds a lot of fun, especially if you're playing a competitive game like, I don't know, Call of Duty, League of Legends, CSGO, whatever it may be. Like, it does add a little bit of that, dude, what is going on with my mouse? Huh. My mouse is not operating the way it's supposed to. That's not good. I don't want to buy a new mouse. There we go, there we go. Now it's back. Oh no. I guess people having way too much information on the internet is inherently a terrible idea. For example, the Blue Whale game. I've never even heard of that game. Like, having access to information it's awesome, right? Like, it's cool to be able to go online and learn about things that are going on around the world. But having this much information at all times is insane. Like, it's just it's insane. And 99% of the time, the stuff that we see online is like bad, right? So just, I don't know. For me, it just seems like it's a lot. Doesn't seem like it's the best. Froggy, what's going on? See you, Froggy. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by and saying hey. I think also having all the information, like, you see aspects of everyone's lives. Granted, they're putting out the very best things that are happening in their lives. Sometimes it's real, sometimes it's not. And so you're constantly comparing yourself and your life to others. That's not healthy. Like, no one goes online and talks about the really bad days that they have, or very rarely do they do that. And so, like, you'll have someone who goes online that's like, yeah, if you're not making $1 million annually, then you're broke and you're not doing the right things. And it's like, I mean, I guess, I don't know. But let's talk about the days or the years where you lost $2.5 million because you did something dumb inside your business. You know what I mean? Like, no one wants to talk about the losses. They only want to talk about the wins. And so what you're teaching future generations is that, like, if you take an L or if you fail at something, then you suck at what you're doing. When in reality, the only way to get good at something is to fail, right? Like, or to read books or listen to podcasts and learn from other people's failures, and try to piggyback off their experience. But no one wants to talk about that. Interesting. That's another thing, is like, you start downloading different stuff and they get access to basically your entire life, and then the next thing you know, you're getting like 75,000 calls a day from different call centers all over the globe who are trying to sell you stuff and scam you out of stuff. And it's like, you know, fortunately I've been blessed. I know I'm well aware enough about the internet that, like, if you call my phone and I don't know who you are or I don't know the number, I'm not going to answer. But, like, I probably get anywhere between 15 and like 30 phone calls a day from different call centers, from car insurance to health insurance, just people trying to scam me. I'll get the occasional text that's like, oh, by the way, you ran through this toll road and didn't pay. And it's like, how did I run through a toll road? I don't have toll roads where I live. And it's like, you need to pay $50 today, or the authorities are going to be called and they will be at your door to arrest you or whatever. And it's like, no, they're not. But you have someone who's like 75 years old who didn't grow up on the internet, doesn't use the internet, and doesn't know that that's not actually what's happening. You know what I mean? And so they're getting scammed. It's horrible. you just gotta be careful about life, which is another reason why like I try not to show my face on the internet. I try to, like, even when I'm talking to you or anybody in chat, like I try not to give too much information about me and my life and like, you know, where I live, things of that nature, because you never know. You gotta be super careful, and it sucks that that's the way it is, because like I want to believe that everyone is a good person, but that's not the truth, you know. That's horrible. There are people out there that are just up to no good. I mean, I guess that's the only way to put it, you know. It's not cool to see, but it's reality. That's why I think I was raised to believe that it's our responsibility to leave the world in better hands than we received it. And I think an aspect of that is making sure that, like, for me, I hopefully teach my kids the value of, you know, having strong morals and values and like doing right by people, even if someone does you wrong. I also believe that what goes around comes around. Like, I don't know if I necessarily believe in karma, but like when you're putting bad stuff out there, treating people the wrong way, eventually it's going to come back to you in some shape, form, or fashion. And you know, I don't know, maybe that's naive of me and ignorant of me and almost childlike of me, but I don't know, I feel like we're supposed to leave the world in better hands than we receive it, you know? And at the very least, if nothing good comes from me treating other people with love and respect, then at the very least, I know that I can sleep well at night, knowing that I did right, you know what I mean? The game is so messed up. It sounds like it's super messed up. Hopefully they caught the creator of it. Or hopefully people are well, you know, like aware of some of the stupidity and bad things that this person is doing. I think it feels that way. Yeah, I mean, the thing is about the internet and like just media in general is like you don't get as many clicks if you're putting out good stuff. So there's tons of good things that are going on in the world, but from a news and media perspective, they're not going to get as many clicks as if, you know, they won't get as many clicks or as much traction if they're not putting, oh, the world's coming to an end, basically. And so that's why you see so much bad stuff in comparison to so much good stuff. It's ridiculous, but people feed off of, I mean, you gotta think about like human nature, right? Like everything about us, like evolutionary wise, like we spent most of our time either finding food or trying to make sure that our surroundings were safe. And so if something wasn't normal or safe, like we hyper focused on that. And so when you see a headline that says 50 dogs were saved from a burning building, yeah, people are going to look at it, but they're going to be like, okay, good, I'm glad they're safe. But when you see something like, oh, nuclear war is about to happen, most people are like, oh crap, let me read on why this is happening. And so you'll have 500 people that click on the dog story, but you're going to have, what, 50,000 people read about why the world's coming to an end and why we're about to enter into nuclear war, whether it's true or not. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, I mean that is Right. But like, let's see, people always seem to love other people fall. So yeah, there's a saying out there that like people will only support you as long as you're doing just as good as them or worse. But as soon as you start doing better than other people, people will flip a switch for whatever reason. Now, this isn't the case for everybody, but in a lot of cases, people will all of a sudden be like, "Oh, you're a horrible person," or you shouldn't complain about this because you have money now, or whatever the case is. And it's like, just because I'm doing well doesn't mean that I don't have problems. My problems have just changed, right? And so that's why it's so incredibly important to have like a really strong support system, no matter what it is that you're doing. But especially if you're going to, like, if you're finding success, being very, very intentional about the people that you let into your inner circle. You know what I mean? Let's see. Well, yeah, everybody wants to do the best they can. Speaking about Elon Musk, if you take out the politics, right, and you just look at Elon Musk as a whole, people are mad at him because he's the wealthiest person, on paper anyways, in the world, right? And they're like, he has all this money, blah, 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 blah. He's a sick person because no person should have that amount of money. But what they don't think about is the fact that, like, this guy built multiple businesses that have helped a lot of people. Like, if you don't want to drive a gasoline car because, you know, you have a moral, in your moral compass, you don't feel good about pumping carbon dioxide into the air due to the exhaust, then you go buy an electric car. You start feeling better about it, and he gave you that option. When before, it was really, really, like, electric cars were kind of crap, right? But no one wants to talk about the fact that they can buy an electric car that works really, really well, that does all these amazing things. They're just mad at him because he has all this money. And it's like, well, part of it is stock in his company. So, like, it's not like he has direct access to that, but it's not like he has $200 billion sitting in his bank account. You know what I mean? They're just mad that someone went out there and did something incredible, and that person is now doing very well for themselves. So yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. It is an inferiority complex, but I don't know. It seems like a waste of energy. It feels like a lot of people want to make excuses for not doing what they like either want to do or should be doing to make their lives better. That's not to say that, like, there aren't problems with, you know, again, I'm speaking about the US specifically because that's where I live, but it's not to say that there aren't issues with our country. There definitely are. Yes, things are expensive. Yes, it's hard to get ahead, but, like, if you're very intentional, it can be done, clearly, because thousands of people have done that. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. Absolutely, I've been there. If you talked to me, a few years ago, I was in a really, really bad, dark place, and what I realized is, like, I'm in that place because of the decisions that I made. Like, I'm overweight right now, not because of anybody else other than me, right? Like, I'm the one that hasn't been working out regularly, or I'm the one that ate stuff that I, wasn't going to help me become healthier. And so I'm going to get mad at someone else because healthier groceries are more expensive. And it's like, no, maybe you should just eat less, work a little longer, work a little harder, save your money a little bit better. Maybe turn off a few of the subscriptions that you have, or whatever the case is. Start cooking at home rather than eating out all the time. Like, there are things that can be done, but no matter what, hard is going to be hard, right? Being healthy is hard. Being out of shape is hard. You know what I mean? You got to choose your hard. Making tons of money, making millions of dollars, that's really hard work. Being poor and not having any money is really, really hard. Like, but part of it is also a choice. That's not to say that, like, how do I put it? Like, I didn't grow up wealthy. I grew up very, very, very probably lower middle class. Like, but if I want my kids to not grow up lower middle class or middle class, then I'm the one that has to go out there and make the change. Growing up, it's my parents are the ones that cooked the food and chose what we ate. But as soon as I moved out of my parents' house, it was on me. to be a good steward of the food that was coming into my house, right? That's no one else's problem. Even if my parents didn't teach me how to eat healthy food, it's no longer their responsibility to buy food for me. You know what I mean? And so I think the hard part is, and what's hard is taking personal accountability. Like that is hard. It sucks because you have to be willing to look into the mirror, and the person that you're looking at, you have to have a very real conversation with that person and say, look, you're not making the choices that will allow you to reach the goals that you have. So either you got to start making sacrifices and changing the decisions that you're making, or stop crying about the fact that you are where you are. Those are the options that you have. Either make the change or don't. But crying about it isn't going to change anything. That's how I look at it anyways. Well, yeah, luck is... What is luck, right? Or what is success? No, let me rephrase that. What is luck? Luck is when opportunity meets preparation. Oh, my son's here. Hold on. Let me say hello to him. When you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. What's your day? Okay. Sorry about that. I had to say hello to that little man. But I don't know. I like in terms of luck, I think you have luck is just when you prepare for opportunity, when you're prepared for the opportunity. And like people will call it luck. Like prime example, me having a video on YouTube do very well. People don't realize that I've been making YouTube videos for, I don't know, over 10 years. And so it's like, no, it wasn't luck that I got a video that did very, relatively well for my size on YouTube. It was 10 years plus of me working at making videos and learning from each quote unquote failure that I've had prior, right? And so, but someone who doesn't know that I've been making videos for that long would be like, oh man, you got lucky. It's like, no, I didn't get lucky. I've been doing this for a long time. And I finally had a video that did well. And like I'm really happy with how it has done. You know what I mean? So let's get rid of. You're gonna get rid of this. Would be cool if I had a Discord server. I have one, I just don't want to manage it because I'm kind of lazy. But I'm sure in the future I'll have one. I think it'd be cool to talk with everybody. My only concern is like, I know that there are kids, and like, especially with the fact that I make content on Minecraft, I got to be very intentional about like who's in the Discord and what is being said, and like, I don't know if I'm ready to have to deal with that. I know you can have moderators and stuff like that, but I also don't want to. I don't know. Just it seems weird. But imagine, I mean, if I get large enough, I'm sure that like it would be worth, looking into that. I don't know yet. Because I know it's something that people continuously ask. Do you have Discord? Do you have Discord? Yes. Or I mean, like, I do have Discord. Don't get me wrong. I just don't have a server for myself. But also, it's not like I'm going to be in there. I'm not big on being on Discord. There's a handful of people that I talk to. Like, I would never be in there during the streams because I can't dictate like what people will and will not say. And I try to be as family friendly as possible. And so, like, there's that whole aspect of it. And so it would be something where like I would have to be in Discord during my own free time, and I don't have a ton of that. That makes sense. Which is kind of funny because I'm streaming, but like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how to. That's just where my brain is, I guess. It's a lot of extra work, and I don't know if I'm ready to commit to something like that. I mean, if this was my full-time job, right? Like, this is all I did every single day. It paid all my bills and whatnot, then it would be something to consider where it's like, no, it's actually worth having this because I get to talk to the community and really get a pulse, put a finger on like the pulse of the community and what it is people are wanting and what they enjoy about the content that I post, and also just get to know you guys in general. But that's not where I am, and I do this basically part-time for fun, and that's that, really. Maintaining Discord server is really hard considering if there are children involved, because Discord is really garbage in protecting their younger audience. So many servers sharing not safe for work stuff, even though there were children in the server. That's what I'm talking about. And like, I don't know, there are a few things that like I'm pretty lenient on a lot of stuff. Like, if you're at a if you say a quote unquote bad word in chat or something, I'm not gonna like flip out or anything, right? Because I try to keep my mouth clean, especially when I'm streaming. But like, I understand there's just certain ways that certain people talk. But like, if something is shared in my Discord while I'm not there and I can't trust people to make sure that it's a safe place, that's like I don't know, it comes back to me. It talks about my values and me as a person. And I'm like, I don't know, kids are one of the few things where I'm like, no, you don't mess with kids, you don't mess with dogs, you don't mess with cats. You know what I mean? Or pets in general. And so for me, it's like, no, I want there to be a safe place for a younger audience, if that's something. And also, like, I don't want to, it may sound weird. It's one thing to talk in chat during a stream with someone who's younger. It's completely different when I'm hanging out in a Discord with people and there's no supervision from parents or something like that. Like, I don't ever want to be in that type of situation, because I wouldn't want my kids in that situation. You know what I mean? Like, I want to make sure, I don't want to be a helicopter parent, but also it's my responsibility to make sure that my kids are safe. And like, I don't want the responsibility, like, if I have viewers that are under the age of 18, I don't want the responsibility of making sure that things that are being said or shown to them, or, you know what I mean? It's a whole lot. And so I'm just not ready to take that on, especially not having, like, it being all my own. And I've tried to have servers in the past, and I never was on top of it. I was never in there, and people were eventually like, all right, no one's ever in here, I'm leaving. And I was like, I get it. I'm just never in Discord. You know what I mean? Very rarely am I in Discord, and it's like really close friends that ask me to jump in Discord. And even then, I'm only in there for like an hour or two, and that happens once or twice, like every couple of months. I really am just never in there, because I'm always focused on working on, if I'm in my computer, I'm usually working on my world, getting ready for the next YouTube video. You know what I mean? That's how I like to spend my quote-unquote relaxation time. But I also know that there are creators out there that have an amazing Discord. Whether or not they're in there, I don't know. I think it relies heavily on the size of your channel, and, you know, it makes sense if someone like Mr. Beast has a Discord, because he has millions of followers and subscribers. You guys can all jump in there and talk amongst each other, and he probably has people that he pays. Maybe he pays them, I don't know. But I know he has people that watch over the Discord, and even him, who's at that size, has had issues with Discord. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to have that on my plate. Maybe that's lazy of me, but I also think that I'm like watching out for my best interest, and I think that's important, especially if you're going to be making content, putting it online and putting yourself out there where for everyone to see. Servers get really overwhelming. Yeah, I've joined some servers of people that are larger creators, and you are exactly right. I'm like, God, this is a lot. And it's not even my server. And so it's like, do I want to go through that? Nah, not really. Not really. I don't want to deal with that. At least not right now. But who knows where we'll be in the future. I know my first major goal right now is to get to 1 million subscribers. And that's what I want to do that in the next year. I don't even know if it's possible. Like, that's the type of goal that kind of scares me and makes my stomach turn over. But that's my first major goal right now. Mainly because, I don't know, I've always been someone that puts out like really small goals for myself and don't like really push myself to try and like strive for something great. I don't know if I'll get 1 million subscribers in the next 12 months, but that's a goal of mine. And if I do, fantastic. But if I don't, then hopefully I fall a little bit short of that. And I'm a lot further than I would be if I said, you know, my goal is to get to 10,000 subscribers. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's a great question. I never really thought about it that way. Surely there's some kind of way, like, I imagine there's some kind of like marketing that goes on, like if you want to be the first to know about new apparel that's coming out, or if you want to be one of the first to get tickets to an event that I'm going to, I'll put it in Discord first, right? Like, maybe that's the reason. I genuinely have no idea. I use Discord purely to talk to friends that don't live near me, because I don't get to see them very often. Other than that, I don't use Discord at all. Well, that's a lie. I have a there's a Discord that I'm a part of that my friends, some friends from church put on because we play D&D together. And so I'll go in there from time to time just to make sure and verify what dates we're doing D&D each month. And I use it to like vote on certain days of the week that we want to do D&D. But other than that, like that's the only Discord that I'm a part of where there are people that I live near or that I actually see in person. For the most part, I don't use it at all. Yeah, I stream on Kick. I just recently started streaming on Kick. Mainly because on Kick, one, I wanted to test out the platform. I'm just curious about it. And it seems that like short form streaming on YouTube is better than horizontal, like I say long form, but like horizontal streaming. But also on Kick, there is a program where you can get paid hourly to stream. And so if I can unlock that, get to that point on Kick, then that would be one step closer to being able to do this full time. And just seemed like a really good idea. I don't know if it is. I have no clue, but at the very least, we're attempting it. And so for a while, I'm going to stream on Kick. And if it turns into something great, if it doesn't, then I have YouTube to fall back on, you know? Just trying different things to try and get noticed, I guess, which is something that I naturally am pretty bad at. Like marketing myself, I'm really bad at. I am really bad at, like, my self-confidence isn't the best, and it's something that I've been working on for the past few years, really. And I think I've gotten better, but I don't know. I think at the end of the day, I think I had like a conversation with myself, and it was like, you can either be afraid of putting yourself out there and be where you are anyways, or you can attempt to put yourself out there, and if it works out, great. The worst thing that will happen is I'm where I'm at already. So it's like, if I don't do anything about it and try to put myself out there, then I'm going to be in this spot. But if I try to put myself out there, then there's a chance, whether, you know, even if it's a small chance, for, you know, my content creation to kind of change my life. And so that's my thought. Is the Kick monetization good? I know getting monetized on Twitch is really hard. Not sure about Kick. Monetization on Kick is, I mean, it's about just as hard as, it's probably just as hard as it would be to get monetization on Twitch or YouTube. So I'm not monetized on Kick. I'm not large enough on Kick. I have, obviously that's a goal of mine. I'm working towards that, but I'm monetized on YouTube. My focus is YouTube. I'm such a YouTube guy, it's not even funny. My main focus is YouTube. Anything else would be like a cherry on top, but I love YouTube. I love the platform. I love putting out content on YouTube. I use YouTube all the time. I watch a lot of YouTube, right? And so for me, the only place that I really care about is YouTube. My YouTube channel is really the only channel I like really care about. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to take advantage of other opportunities if they're out there. And so that's kind of where I stand with everything. It doesn't hurt you, right, to like multi-stream on multiple platforms. Maybe it's a little confusing for the viewer when you're talking to different people and they're on a different platform and they're like, well, who are you talking to? But at the end of the day, it's kind of whatever. Just explain it to them. It's like, oh, I multi-stream. I stream on YouTube and on Twitch and on Kick and on Facebook or whatever it is, on X, you know, Twitter. It's really whatever. Yeah, I mean, YouTube has the best, YouTube, it doesn't feel like it favors small or new creators, but it is built to help small and new creators get out there. Like the algorithm is built for you to like make really good content, and if you do that, YouTube will push it out. Whereas on Twitch, it is like, no, if you're the best, if you have the most numbers, most viewers, then we're going to push your content. And so it's really hard to get noticed on those platforms. Not that it can't be done, it's just a whole lot harder. I think streaming platforms are coming around and they're trying to build out algorithms that help push out new content creators, but none of them are remotely close to YouTube. You have to understand that YouTube is the second largest search engine on the planet, and it's second to Google, and Google owns YouTube. And so it's like, what's the point of using any other platform or focusing on any other platform if the two major search engine platforms that have algorithms built in to help push your content, like, it does all the marketing for you. Why would I focus on any other platform, you know? Which the only thing you should be focusing on is, if you're making content, is making your content, each piece of content that you put out, better than the last. It's the only thing you have to do. And then you got to put the time in. You just got to be consistent with it. If you're not willing to do that, then you're never going to find success in content creation. And most people, including myself, at least early on, thought that I was putting out amazing content, and in reality, it was trash. But most people don't want to hear that. They're like, I put in all this hard work. And it's like, yeah, you put in all this hard work. I get that. But it's still not good. Like, I didn't get good at basketball because I shot the basketball 10 times in my backyard. I got good at basketball because I spent hours and hours and hours with a basketball in my hand working on that craft. And then that kind of obsession has switched over to YouTube since I no longer compete playing basketball, right? And so it's like, if you want to do YouTube, you want to make content, you got to be almost obsessive about it. It's probably not the healthiest thing to do, but like, if you want to make it, you got to be obsessed about it. You got to get better. Yeah, there's also that. I mean, I don't know. I imagine if you grow large enough on YouTube, you'll have the same thing. Don't get me wrong. Like, if you want to explode in terms of the stream scene, Twitch is probably one of the best places to do it. I mean, because it's like, if you can break into that first page and break into the top, like, you're going to get tons and tons of viewers. But if you want longevity, like, you want to build a YouTube channel, because you can put your videos on there, and as long as it's evergreen content, especially with like Minecraft, like let's imagine a year from now, let's say I get another 3 videos out and someone finds one of my newer videos, they're going to go back and watch my old videos, because it's still Minecraft at the end of the day. They're going to want to know how I got to this point in my world, right? Or whatever point I'm at whenever, you know, a year from now. So you have that ability to make almost, I guess, if you get monetization, there's an ability to make residual income that way. But again, it all stems from, like, how good is your content? And if one video performs better than the other, then you got to start asking yourself, okay, what did I do differently in this video? Why is this video worse than the last? Like, my most recent one didn't perform as good as the video where I, you know, blew a hole into the mountain. And it's like, well, what did I do differently there? I genuinely don't know. I haven't made enough content in this world, or Minecraft content in general, to have a good idea of what I've done well and what I haven't. But in the future, I'm going to be able to look back and be like, okay, so I edited it this way, I did these things, and people lost interest at this point for whatever reason. You know what I mean? But it's that kind of game of, like, sitting down and being very, very hard on yourself and critiquing every aspect of your content and trying to get better. But I don't think most people don't want to go through the growing pains that are required for you to find success on any kind of content platform. Well, yeah, I mean, that's also that you have to understand that they're also a business, right? And so the way that they make their money is by selling ads. So when you see an ad on your video, or on a video, that ad, part of that income is going back to YouTube. And so they have to be very, very cautious of, like, what is being said in videos. And the reason that is because, you know, 10 years ago, before the, like, first adpocalypse, whenever it was, maybe it was 2017, 2019. Anyways, whenever that happened, but prior to that, people were basically putting out any kind of content, stuff that was just not appropriate for certain kids to see, and just certain things that, like, no one should have to see. And so advertisers were basically pulling out and saying, like, we're not going to give you money to run ads because the videos you're putting our ads on doesn't align with our values as a company. And so YouTube started losing money, and so they had to make a change. Like, it stinks, right? But, like, it's a reality of running a business. You have to be very, very cognizant of your brand and your morals and what you stand for. And if your ads are being put on stuff that don't align with that, then yeah, you're gonna have to back out. Or you would think that's the case. And then you got to think about, like, your customer base. Like, if your customers believe one thing and your ads are being put on a certain video that don't align with what your customers believe, then they're going to stop buying your product. And so, yeah, you just got to be very, very cognizant of that. Do YouTubers earn money if you skip the ads? I believe so. as long as the ad gets put onto your, I think that's one of the reasons why there's like you have to watch the ad for a certain amount of time, like 5 seconds or whatever it is, 30 seconds. Or why you don't have, like, why you have non-skippable ads is because they have to go a certain amount of time to make sure that they get the money and to make sure that the creator themselves get paid. And so, yes, if you skip the ad, yes, the creator still gets paid. From my understanding. Now, I don't have like a YouTube contact, so I can't ask that question. I don't know that 100%, but I'm pretty sure you get paid. Yeah, YouTube short monetization is kind of poop. I'm not gonna lie to you. But the benefit of YouTube Shorts is it's less about the money and more about the exposure, right? Which is why I'm doing it, because like I YouTube Shorts is kind of meh. I don't necessarily enjoy making YouTube Shorts. I don't really understand how that algorithm works, and it doesn't pay very well. But on the flip side, I can make decent money from long form videos as long as, you know, those videos do well. And so for me, it was I basically was like, okay, am I more interested in making money or getting exposure? It's like I'd rather get exposure now. That's what I care about more. Wait, what side was I? This way? Oh, it was over here. I'm getting lost. I don't know where I was. It goes back. But you can also make really good money if, like, say that you have a YouTube short that gains 10 million views. Like, even if it only pays, like, you know, 3 cents a view. I don't know if that's how it actually works, but, like, it's still, it's a decent amount of money. You know what I mean? So... It's 3 a.m. Xavier. Well, I appreciate you hanging out. You sleep well, all right, brother? Get plenty of rest. Appreciate you hanging out with me. What album is this? I use a Blue Snowball. It's like $50 or $75. It's a decent mic. I'd like to upgrade it, but the big problem is, like, even if I upgrade my mic, the room that I'm in, it's like the sound bounces really bad. So I don't know if a new mic would help. But yeah, Blue Snowball. Let me see something really quick. What was I looking at? I don't know what I was looking at. All right, doesn't matter. What time is it? I'm going to the gym in like 2 hours. I'm excited. Mm-mm. Uh, Dude, my arm is so tired. How many have we placed? They checked last. We placed 11,000. I really feel like I did my math wrong. I don't know, I can't tell. Oh no. All right, final row. Seems crazy to think about. Uh, oh, my hand. Um, bum, 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 bum. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Ugh. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah? What? All right. Oh, this is a banger. Oh my gosh, yes. Mm-mm-mm. We just listened to this. Bit. Let's just play this. Start here. Yeah, this is what I want us to do. Oh wow. Oh wow. Bum 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 bum. Huh? I don't know how that happened. I'm so confused as to how that happened. Oh, goodness. locked in right now. I've been locked in right now. I don't know what that even means. I've been locked in for 3 hours, 4 hours, something like. Dude, my brain is beginning to melt. Just staring at this. Ah. Ba-dum, bum, 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 ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum. Oh, man. I'm losing it. I'm losing my mind. I'm so sleepy. This is getting out of hand, dude. Why am I doing this to myself? So, you know? You know what I mean? Just da.
People see this and they see that they're
Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Scoobity boo bop. Scoobity boo bop. On my hand. Alright, that feels better. Oh, dude, I've been doing this so long today. That's alright, though. That's so cool. I love that I can do that. I love it. Cacao. Oh my gosh. All right. Right. Dude, look at this. Oh my gosh. It's just a sea of green. Oh my gosh, dude, it looks so sick. Wow. That's insane. All right, that's going to be it for the stream. I will be back tomorrow. You guys have a good one. I am out of here. Peace.